Today I'm going to be talking about the Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Something that people have been looking forward to for over a year now, after the first one came out, to, I'm going to say, mixed reviews. There was actually a lot of very negative talk about it, but I think that was a specific group of people. In general, I actually liked the first movie quite a lot. I've rewatched it a couple times, either that I have, or even if I find it on TV. Sometimes I'll keep it on if it's at a certain spot. But I actually did like the first one. But I was very interested to see what this longer and presumably better version would end up being. So I definitely watched it as soon as I could. I didn't watch it at midnight because I did have to work the next day, and I just watched it as soon as I came home. This is going to be more of a review than a reaction, because it's honestly just too long to sit through and react to. I did already watch the movie. I'll put some clips in and maybe comment over them. Now, the movie is 4 hours long, and spoilers, no spoilers, most of the extra 2 hours is just background information on the characters. A couple of the fight scenes I think were extended a little bit and a little different. I don't know if there were any scenes that were totally not in the original movie. There were a couple other scenes in general that were, but most of the fighting scenes may have just been extended a little bit, and they just did some more background on the characters, which I actually liked very much, because there are a lot of questions about all the characters, whether you've watched their individual movies that they have, or if you just watched the first Justice League movie. It's really nice to get more background information than most 2-hour movies can give you. One of the things that I was wondering that they showed in the movie was they showed the Amazons circling the box in its room or chamber that they were keeping it in before it came alive or before it woke up. So I'm wondering, did they have like 100 Amazon standing around guarding this box 24/7? Or was that just a weird cut of something? Because it didn't seem to wake up until after they showed all the Amazons around the box. Then the wave of Superman's screams came through. Then the box woke up. And that should have been the first time that it woke up at all. So that'd be a pretty boring job for the Amazons to actually have a big number of women. Not just two. No, they could have had a couple and others on standby. But the room was filled. Like possibly 100 women around this box 24/7. So that's a little strange. I actually think the Flash got gypped in this movie. He seemed to do almost nothing throughout most of the movie until the very end, where he arguably became perhaps the most important person, as he was able to reverse time and bring back the people who had started to disappear, or the world that had started to disappear. But he was just standing around when they went to rescue people, when they were being held in the facility under the harbor, or at the harbor, or wherever that was. He just stood around and he ran in front. He's like, hey, come this way. He didn't actually rescue anyone like in the first movie, where he went and he grabbed people and he moved them out of the room. He got them to safety. Or where he was actually getting people out of the town who were close to the reactor. He was getting people out of town along with Superman. But in this movie, he was nothing until the very end. So I really think that was bad. If I was a Flash fan, a hardcore Flash fan, I'd be very upset. Now, I did like the movie a lot. I'm not going to say that it was necessarily better than the normal 2-ish hour theater release that came out. It just had a little more background information. The fights were a little bit longer, maybe had a couple more scenes to them. But I liked the way the characters were actually developed in the first movie a little bit better. Aquaman in this movie seemed too stoic, didn't seem, I don't want to say friendly, because he never is, but he came off much more likable in the first movie. In this one, he's just always quite so serious, and there's a point where Flash says something to him like, oh, you don't seem to care about anything, and then he's like, I never said that. But in the other movie, there was a little camaraderie going on. He sat on Wonder Woman's lasso where he gave his little speech. That was kind of funny in that, which was nicer. The Flash had more to do, as I already probably mentioned. I'm actually not sure how I'm going to edit the comments. Maybe I talk about the Flash after this. More in depth about the Flash after this. But the Flash did more. He did have, maybe a weird scene with Wonder Woman where he like fell on her chest. It's kind of a classic comedy, face in the boobs kind of thing, which it was kind of stupid in that, but it is also a classic comedy thing that you see in a lot of stuff. Add a little comedy to it. This movie just didn't have. So I did like the movie a lot. I definitely recommend, if you're any kind of a fan, work the time into seeing it, whether you watch it all at once or break it up. If you feel like it's a little slow during some of the conversation periods, you can definitely fast forward a little bit. Honestly, I did, just a couple seconds at a time here and there to make sure I didn't miss anything major. But I did fast forward through some of the extra long conversations that happened. But I really did like seeing the extra information, the history about some of the characters. But I did like the original 2-hour theatrical. One thing I'll say as a warning, if you have not watched the movie yet and you've made it this far into my review, don't watch the epilogue. When the epilogue wording comes on to the screen, hit stop right there. Maybe jump through to a little bit. I think they show a final scene a little bit later. And if you're watching this, you're probably expecting spoilers. It's when they show the Martian Manhunter. You can kind of find that part and watch it if you want. But I would skip the epilogue. I do not like that whole scenario. I didn't like it when it was part of Batman vs. Superman. That whole idea or theme, storyline, is what I fast forward through and completely ignore whenever I do rewatch Batman vs. Superman. I don't like all that futuristic, dreaming stuff that Bruce Wayne has. Don't like it at all. Don't like it that they put it in this movie at the end. Of course, they've got to tease something happening in the future, different movies, but I just don't like that bit at all. So, unless somehow you're a big fan of that, I'd say skip the epilogue. This review, please like, subscribe, you know what to do, and if this channel ever becomes anything, I'll greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, and catch you on the next one. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, you know what to do. And if the channel ever turns into anything, I'll greatly appreciate it. Today I decided to try to do my recording outside because it's a beautiful day. The sun's a little bit onto my side, so it may be making me squint, and it may even give me a shadow in that a little bit, but I think it looks okay on the video. Probably won't be too bad. Today I'm going to be talking about Justice League, the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut. Snyder Cut. Today I'm going to be talking about Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Snyder Cut. Not exactly sure how to say his last name, I don't think. Today I'm going to be talking about the Justice League, the Zack Snyder the Snyder Shot. The Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut.